I hope everybody is well fed and back in the room. So thanks a lot for inviting me to this gathering. There are a few points I want to make. First, I want to talk about India, and then I want to talk about the Indian diaspora. As we all know, India, which is world's largest democracy, is witnessing a democratic backsliding. There is a rise of majoritarianism in the country, decline in fundamental freedoms, and abrogation of basic human rights. There is citizenship disenfranchisement, and that has left 1.9 million humans in just one state of India, outside the welfare state. Now, as political scientists, we often debate that India is never truly a perfect democracy, or for that matter, a perfect welfare state. But the issue that is of relevance for us today and need our acute focus and attention is that while India has never been a perfect democracy or a perfect welfare state, under Modi, these ideas of democracy and welfare state itself are eroding. And under the current government's rule, the aspirational values that India had towards democracy, human rights, and protection of fundamental rights of all is backsliding. And it is creating exclusionary politics and an exclusionary state for the minorities of the country. This limitation and this exclusion is especially directed towards Muslims, as we are aware. And although Indian Supreme Courts have come time and again to say things like that internet is the basic right, or lynchings are not in line with our secular democratic values, the government of India has not paid an attention to these issues. Now, we all know that since the lynching of Muhammad Akhlaq in 2017, there has been at least 24 more cases where people have been lynched to death, Muslims have been lynched to death by cow vigilante mobs. Other than this, there have been many such instances of violence directed because of hate and because of the hate speech in the country. Now, in my work, we look at the space of social media, and we often encounter that there are videos circulated where far-right Hindutva monks are asking, or rather instigating, killings of Muslims. They are instigating an annihilation of Muslims, so to say. And these videos have been viewed over 32 million times, 40 million times, etc. This has created an atmosphere of hate in the country. And this atmosphere of hate itself has become profitable. So for any new influencer to come in and say something against Muslim will get them more likes, more views, more monetization of the platform, and these things have therefore become fashionable, profitable. Hating on Muslims have become fashionable and profitable. And as scholars who are monitoring this hate, we do not have any doubt to say that the Indian Muslim community sits on a brink of a genocide if we do not do anything, if we do not take an action to stop it. And we also know this, that whatever happens in India will not only stay in India. It will impact us all. It will impact people who are tied to India, either because of their families. It will impact people who are tied to India because it is their emotional, spiritual place. of being and belonging, or tied to India because of their businesses, or tied to India because coming from India, that's the motherland for a lot of us. And therefore, now I want to come to the role of diaspora and what we are doing here, talk to you a little bit about that, and also talk to everybody about the relevance of UKIMC in that context. So in 2020, I co-founded as a diaspora-led organization called Stichting London Story. We co-founded this organization in a cafe by the name London, which was right outside Brussels Parliament. And the need for us to co-found this was because whenever we were going to the Brussels Parliament asking a parliamentarian that, you have a commitment to human rights, can you please use your diplomatic pressure over Modi government to tell them that what's happening under their governance is not acceptable. They need to be held accountable somehow. And every time we were getting a bit of a resistance from these political leaderships, which basically told us that there is a need for us to form as an organization and do this more organically and more systematically. In the last 3 years, we have encountered a lot of these blackout zones. And in these blackout zones, the politicians around the world who have otherwise, nice, beautiful words in their speeches about human rights and human values and human rights and dignity will close their eyes to what's happening in India. They will completely, conveniently forget that there are Muslims in India, there are Christians in India who are being lynched or being attacked and violated because there is a majoritarian government in place. And they will conveniently do that in the name of businesses, right? In the last 3 years, we have tried our best as an organization to shine some light in these black zones. We have taken some hammers, created some cracks, and allowed the light to enter. But we need more such efforts. We need more such persistent efforts on advocacy in Europe, in UK, and in different parts of the world. I know Ritumbra is also over here from US doing similar efforts there to talk to these politicians that the human value, the human dignity should not be compromised because of your business interest in the country. And that is the role that we as a diaspora need to take. Because ultimately, it is our home, our country, our diversity, which is at stake here. So with that, I would thank you for having me here.